I almost sold my couch this week to make ends meet. This is super vulnerable. I'm a 50-year-old woman who's educated, who found myself asking this week, how did I get here? And I realized, despite my affirmations, my prayers, my everything I've been doing to move out of this situation, I realized that I have been holding on to fear and struggle like a security blanket because it's all I've ever known.
Welcome back to the channel, family. Today's video is about this 50-year-old lady that shares her experience with fear and how it's important and how she was able to overcome her fears. And this brings to mind a comment from one of my really good friends, Dream with a Soul. She always loves talking about fear and how fear is not real, and it's a thing that the evil on this earth feeds off of. And so if we try to zone out of fear, then we're able to be in the light. And in the light, there's no room for evil. There's no room for fear. It has no choice but to succumb to light and to love and to goodness. And so I felt this video was a really good one to bring to you guys because I think you could learn from her experience here.
And something shifted for me literally overnight where I realized I don't need to hold on to that anymore. And I heard in my meditation when I was at kind of the end of my rope of just like, God, show me the next right step, because I know there's so much more to life than living like this. And all what I heard really clearly was, it's all available for you. You just need to believe. And here all along, I thought I was, but I realized the extent of what I was holding on to out of comfort, out of pattern. And, you know, it reminds me of this experience I had 3 years ago in Mexico. I have a major fear of heights, and we went to the cenotes, and it was like a 16-foot jump into the water. Kids were doing it like again and again and again, running up, jumping off of this 16-foot cliff. And I was terrified, absolutely terrified. And I was up there for 45 minutes, afraid to jump. And when I finally jumped, all of these beautiful local people applauded and came up to me and gave me hugs and said how inspiring it was that I actually jumped. And this one beautiful woman handed me this little charm with a sheep on it. And it reminded me of this beautiful thing that one of my amazing spiritual teachers told me once. It was years ago, and I was crying and saying, I'm so tired of being the black sheep. And she said, but Taryn, you're not the black sheep. You're the golden sheep. So I just want to say to all of you beautiful people out there that have been in a space similar to me where you've been struggling because that's what you know, and you've been afraid because that's what you know. Dear one, you're not the black sheep. You're the golden sheep. And you're waking up in real time right alongside me. So I just want to tell you, keep going. I love you, and we're doing it.
Also, I wonder why she's talking about a sheep. Like, I don't know that I exactly like the no offense, but I don't know that I exactly like the sheep terminology, right? Because we already have a lot of like, it just seems like sheep is following, right? And I don't think we need any more followers right now. I think what we need are like people that are gonna go against the grain actually, and ask questions of the system. I understand that that you should, like, we shouldn't fear, of course, but it doesn't mean that we should just follow blindly like what we're told. I think we need to still hold the elected officials accountable for why we're where we are right now. I really think that they have a lot to do with that. I'm not gonna go into all the details about that. I think we've already beat that horse to death, right? So there's no need to keep going over how I believe that it's actually the responsibility of our elected officials to ensure that our tax dollars are going towards, and our resources in the country, they're going towards enablement of the people in the country, right? Not going towards like things that we don't know much about. Like your average citizen doesn't really know much about a lot of the things that their money goes towards, while they continue to go without. Then now you have to just overcome your fear. Like, but then the bills are real, right? Your bills are real. And I don't think you can tell your bank, like, sorry, bank, you're not real, right? Like, your bills are really real, and you're going to need to find a way to pay that. And you're going to need a job, right? But now, how can you get a job? Like, have you been in the job market recently? Literally, no one is able to land a job in these job markets. At least so I've heard. Lucky for me, knock on wood, I'm not in the job market right now. But from what I've heard, it's almost impossible to get a job. And why do you think that is? It's because, well, your guess is as good as mine, but let's talk about it down in the comments below. My guess, in my opinion, humble opinion, of course, and that's not the only reason, right? But in my humble opinion, it is to do with the excessive influx of people, right? Without having new positions open. Like, now we're all competing for the same jobs, and these people are willing to do it for way less. And the companies that are hiring them are even incentivized to do so, right? So you see, like, that is where, like, that's one point where, like, our government have kind of failed us, right? Now, what about the prices of rent? We did a video, I think was that yesterday, about a girl that her rent is going up by $300 a month. Why do you think the rent prices are going up? It's because, again, demand and supply. And why do we have so much demand all of a sudden? The birth rate actually in Canada has been going down, and in a lot of the first world countries has been going down. So now they're like bringing in people to like replace those populations. I hate to say it, but like that's what's happening, and they're bringing them in the droves. And now it's pushing down the wages, jacking up the prices of things, and just making everybody miserable. And so I think this is where like we need to know that, you know, there's more to this life than what we are right now, and we have to still smile when things are going really bad. But it's easier said than done. If you're in this kind of position, it's easier. If you're not in this kind of position, then it's easy for you to just say that, right? But if you're in that position, then what are you gonna do really? If you're almost at a point where you're having to sell your furniture to make ends meet. I'm sure she's not the only one that has been in this position before. I myself have been here before. I've been in this position before. So let's talk about it down in the comments below. What do you think about this clip? Like, do you relate to this woman? And what is your opinion about like overcoming fear? And how does that really change the reality of the fact that you have your bills and your bills are due when your bills are due? Let's talk about it down in the comments below. Be sure to give this video a like and a subscribe. I'm going to be linking this beautiful lady's clip down in the description as well as usual. So be sure to go give her a shout out as well. And until next time, peace.